me, but most of you are wondering why I'm here doing comedy. So I'd say, I guess, about like 10 years ago, so this is a while ago, I used to like watch Russell Peters. He's this Indian comedian, and I would watch all his jokes, and I'd memorize them because I watched them so much. So I started reciting these in front of family, and they all laughed and everything, and they said, you should do this little show. So this was like only 6 family members, and I just recited a bunch of Russell Peters jokes, and they're all about Indians, so it was relatable, so everyone laughed. And then when this talent show came up, Sweetie and I, of course, remembered that I did this, and she said I should do stand-up comedy. And of course I agreed, because at that time, I was told it was only going to be 15 people. If my calculations are correct, I think there was a couple zeros missing. So I guess I'll start off, and I guess I'll start off with a joke that made my career famous, a Russell Peters joke. So I don't know if a lot of you know, but Indians were actually brought to South Africa as slaves. Now, who would want an Indian slave? Do I look physically ready to do manual labor? Give us a calculator, we'll do your taxes. Can you imagine how pissed off the first slave owner was? Okay, Raj, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go in that field and pick that cotton. No. No. I can't do it. I can't do it. Let me tell you what we'll do. You pick the cotton. And I will get the t-shirts made. And together, we'll wholesale it. But I love Russell Peters, you know, because his jokes were relatable. They're all about Indians.
Yeah.
And we're proud Indians. My whole family was born in India.
Yeah.
Well, I was born in Edison, which is basically India. And we're proud Malayalis. Yeah! Let's get a cheer if you're Malayali. And folks, every Malayali in the state of Maryland is here right now. Because we're a rare breed. It's hard to find. But growing up as Malayali is weird, right? Because we're like the anomalies of Indians. There's a couple things. For the name, let's start off with the name. So, I don't know if a lot of you do this, but in Malayali culture, if I'm correct, my dad's first name is everyone else's last name. Right?
Yeah.
So his name is Anthony Xavier, my name's Terry Anthony, my mom's name is Tessie Anthony, and so on and so on. And that's the hardest thing to explain to people.
Absolutely.
It's just weird, right? And on top of that, it makes your name sound not that Indian. No one looks at a piece of paper that says Terry Anthony, yeah, that's an Indian right there. My man Jeff George over here always gets carded at a bar because no, Jeff George, that is not a Jeff George. And there's another thing, the fact that we're Catholic. That's just a mind-blowing thing for me, right? How can you be Indian and Catholic? So, do you worship cows?
At church.
No! We're the same Catholic as you guys. And we do eat meat. I'm looking forward to my lamb dish tomorrow just as much as anybody here. Yeah! And it's weird things like that that make Malayalis an anomaly, you know? So, I'm forgetting my joke right now. So I'm going to slowly remember and pace back and forth. I can't do it. But that's what's making us Malayali. Oh, there we go. So, that's why it's so crazy when you find another Malayali, right? You can be walking down the street and then you'll hear someone speaking Malayalam. Side note. Like I said, I was born here, so I don't understand Malayalam. I don't speak Malayalam. So the only time I understand Malayalam is when my mom is yelling at me. So I know the words. I think it's them for Mendatke. And I know exactly what they're saying. So back to what I was saying. You know, you're walking down the street, you hear someone speaking Malayalam, and then you turn around, your eyes light up. and then you walk up to them and you're like, "You Malayaliano?" And then they turn around, their eyes light up, and they're like, "Yeah!" You're like, "Me too!" And then you're best friends forever. And if that's a girl, you gotta marry her, because you're I know Chris is not Malayali, but he knew that Neil was a rare dude. So he's an honorary Malayali in my book. But those groups are great, right? Because our parents go to their area and they find all the Malayalis in their area and they create this Malu Alliance. Is what I like to call it. Right? But it's great because the kids are there too. So you have people to relate to. You know, kids with weird names too, like Jeff George. So to all the kids in the room, raise your hand if your parents have ever forced you to join a club or play an instrument or something like that. There we go, see? When I was in sixth grade, my mom forced me to join the singing club. I can't sing, and I was the only guy in that club, and it was a horrible experience. But let me tell you the real reason why our parents do this. It's not because they want us to have fun and meet new people. The real reason, it's a secret, the real reason is so they can brag about us. It's the truth. So picture the Indian round table, and then dad one is like, "Oh, you know, Pooja is going to singing competition tomorrow." And then dad number two, "I know, but Raj has got a piano solo tomorrow in his class." And then it always escalates, you know, because they got to put a little garam in it. And then he's like, "Oh, you know, but Pooja has always had a talent for music, you know? It's like she came out of the womb singing, Kabhi Khushi, Kabhi." Natural talent. And then dad number two has the rebuttal. "But Kishan, whatever his name. Raj just learned to play his fourth instrument." And then Raj comes in and he's like, "Dad, that's not true." He pulls out his phone and he's like, "Well, son, it is now." And he just bought a Groupon for half off trumpet lessons. But Indian dads are great, man. I love Indian dads. Of course, I love my Indian dad. Yeah. You're And you know what the best part of my dad is? Free HBO. I'll explain. Free food sometimes too. So what I mean is when Comcast charges us for something wrong. Now, this happens to a lot of us, but when it happens to us, it's like Christmas for me. So he'll come and he'll open the bill. Of course, my mom will say something, and then she'll say, "You know, something's wrong here," and then my dad will take it. And then my dad will see a $5 charge. It doesn't have to be much. It can be $1, $2. But $5 misplaced. That's all that matters. So he sees the wrong charge. He asks me if I bought a movie, and I say no. And then I kindly walk over to the kitchen, I heat up my popcorn, I grab the phone, because I know there's about to be a show. So I hand him the phone, I pre-dial it for him. He calls customer service, Todd picks up. "Hello, sir, how can I help you?" And then he explains the problem, and he talks a little further, and then Todd says, "Sorry, sir, there's nothing we can do to help you." Oh, Todd. Those are the worst words you could have said, Todd. Well, long story short, we get the charge off, and we get 6 months free of HBO. There we go. It doesn't just happen with Comcast. It also happens with food. So there's this Asian restaurant we always go to. It's called Penang, right?
Oh, no.
So we go, and this time we get the full red snapper, and it's a dish that we always get. This time it was burnt. So they burn the fish, and then my dad calls over the waiter, and the waiter he explains the problem again, and the waiter says, "Sorry, sir, there's nothing we can do to help you." Boom! Penang gives us free HBO. No, not Penang. But long story short, again, we get the fish for free. And you know how they say, like father, like son? So a year ago in college, we ordered Papa John's pizza, me and a couple of my friends. And we get the pizza, and one of the pizzas has like this big like bread bubble, and like a quarter of the pizza is just bread. There's no toppings, there's no sauce or anything like that. So my friends are like, oh no, it's okay, it's whatever. One friend like sacrifices himself and he says, I'll eat the bread, it's fine, I'll take it. And I say, no, guys, I got this. I was trained for this moment. There we go. So I call up Papa John's, and long story short, we get a free pizza.
Good for you!
From my father, it's my negotiation skills.
For what, HBO?
Coming to that.
But that's all I have, guys, and I thank you so much.
Now I can brag about you.
Message to the bartenders and all the waiters, please do not say those words, I can't help you. The bar tab will be on you at the end. So thank you guys.
Great job, Gary.
Good job, Gary. Alright, next up we got a musician, also from University of Maryland.